What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today we're gonna talk about my nutrition plan for my very first 50-mile ultra marathon. So if you don't know what an ultra marathon is, basically it's anything that is longer than a traditional marathon, which is 26.2 miles. So if you're thinking like a 50K, which is right around 31 miles around there, something like that. Obviously you have like a 50 miler, 100 miler, and anything beyond that if you're that crazy. One of the most important factors in ultra running as well as endurance events just in general is nutrition. As you're in these long strenuous races, your body is depleted of all of its fuel, hydration, electrolytes, sodium. Basically, you're burning a lot of the nutrients that your body needs to function properly on these endurance runs. I typically like to consume 300 to 400 calories per hour during an ultra marathon. For most people, most of your fuel is going to come from carbs during an ultra marathon. Personally, for me, it doesn't seem to upset my stomach too much as I'm actually on the runs, but obviously this is case by case because everyone reacts to different supplements and foods. Just keep in mind the nutrition plan that works for me might not necessarily work for everyone else. So this is really a case by case scenario, and it's why it's really important to try different supplements and foods during your training. A good rule of thumb that I learned from precision nutrition was about having 1 gram of carbs per kilogram of your body weight. So that's just a very general number, but keep that in mind as you guys are calculating your carb intake. Another factor that is really important is your electrolyte and your sodium levels. As you guys get further into your runs, you're gonna need to replenish some of those electrolytes and sodium levels with some form of a fluid. Water itself will not be enough to support your sodium and your electrolyte levels, so it's important to find some form of a fluid or a gel pack that is gonna give you guys those nutrients. This is what I'm gonna be bringing on my ultra marathon. This first supplement is probably one of the most important ones that I'm going to be needing during this run because it really acts as an all-in-one fuel. It covers your carbs, electrolytes, and sodium, and it's called Tailwind. If you are an endurance athlete or you follow any endurance athletes, most of them have probably used Tailwind or some form of an electrolyte powder that acts as Tailwind basically does. So Tailwind is like your all-in-one supplement. If you wanted to bring the minimal amount of supplements and food with you on your ultra marathon, this is one of the best ones that I would say to bring with you because it covers the main hitters that we already talked about, which are the carbs, electrolytes, and sodium. I'm gonna read through some of the nutrition facts just so you guys can get an idea of what is actually in this, as well as how I used it during my 50 miler. So 1 scoop of Tailwind has 100 calories. In that scoop, it has 25 grams of carbs, 310 milligrams of sodium. They recommend mixing in 2 to 3 scoops of Tailwind with 24 ounces of water. Obviously, you can change that up to your discretion. You can either put more or less depending on how long your run is, or as well as how your body actually digests that much Tailwind. But something I did in my most recent ultra marathon was actually saturating it even more. So I did 6 total scoops of Tailwind in 24 fluid ounces, and that was a main fuel source for me during the first half of my run. In my running vest, I had 2 24 fluid ounces of Tailwind, each of them having 600 calories each, so 1,200 in total. The best thing about any electrolyte powder or fluid is that it's a lot easier on your gut versus eating the gels and the chews and even some of the foods that you might consume as you guys are going to your aid stations. For me personally, Tailwind, it definitely responds to my gut a lot easier and I digest it so much quicker. And I don't have a lot of the GI issues, the gastrointestinal issues that some people have as they are on ultra marathons. Most people don't finish ultras because of GI issues. It's typically not because of their training or their legs. It's because their gut can't process all the food that they're consuming as they are running. And that is why most people have to stop, or they end up having really bad issues in their stomach. Besides the Tailwind, I'm also bringing some gel packs as well as some Cliff bars with me. Personally, I'm a big fan of the chocolate brownie Cliff bars. Those are my favorite ones. They have a ton of carbs in them. It is a satisfying snack. I think when you're going in ultra running in general, a lot of times you got to find out what you enjoy, because when you're in those moments of long running and suffering, it's nice to get back and eat some food that you actually like versus gel packs all the time and all these other things. So find the snacks that you guys actually enjoy to eat that also work well with your stomach as you guys are on these ultra runs. I will also be packing in some gel packs. Personally, I actually really like these Huma Chia gel packs. The difference between these and some other gel packs out there is that there's a lot more natural ingredients in these Huma gel packs. Most gel packs are right around 100 calories, so it's pretty easy to calculate how much you're consuming as you guys are going through these throughout your runs. Personally, when I first started eating a lot of gel packs, I never really enjoyed the taste of them, so I think you got to just find out what works for you, because there are so many brands out there, ones that have caffeine, ones that don't. There are so many gel packs out there, so just find the ones that you guys like, test them throughout your training, especially on your longer runs. That'll give you a good idea of, one, if you like the taste, as well as if it digests well in your stomach. Another thing I'll bring is water in a Camelback. Obviously, I think that's kind of a staple. You know, having Tailwind is awesome, but you don't want to just rely on Tailwind. You also want to have some water with you. It's going to be important to kind of flush your system down with just some regular water as well. Those are most of the things I'll be bringing in just my running pack itself. But other things that I'll consume, obviously, when you're at the aid station, those are great opportunities to get, you know, fresh fruit, whether it's bananas, oranges, clementines, whatever the race offers. They typically have like soda and juices, candy bars, like gummy bears and stuff like that. Obviously, you can pick and choose what you want to eat when you get to the aid stations. Something that I really enjoy, if we're talking a little bit more real food, is I really like PB&Js. Personally, it was like a staple for mine when I was younger, going to school. I don't know, is there something about that old school, just peanut butter and jelly? It gets something, it touches my heart or something. But at the most recent Ultramarathon I was at, they had a ton of those Uncrustables, those Smucker's Uncrustable PB&J sandwiches. They had the jelly and the strawberry ones. I was demolishing those. So that was just another thing that I just pick up on the go as you're at the aid station. You can eat it really quick while you're walking or as you're jogging, and then kind of throw the wrapper away. But aid stations are going to be important because they're going to have a lot of the stuff there, and you guys can kind of just pick and choose the stuff that you want, because you don't want to carry everything in your guys' racing vests. So those are some of the things that I would bring with me during an ultra marathon. Obviously, guys, everyone is going to be a little bit different and respond differently to the supplements or foods that I had named. So here are the 3 tips I want to give you guys before we end this video. The first one is check the race website and find out what is going to be offered at the aid stations. This will give you an idea or give you a level of confidence of knowing that, hey, there's going to be, you know, Tailwind or some form of an electrolyte drink there, you know, fruits, PB&J sandwiches. These will be things that you don't have to prepare for yourself or have to pack in your running vest. It'll be seamless for you, so you know what is going to be offered at the aid stations, so then you don't have to stress about packing it in your guys' running vests. Tip number 2, practice your nutrition during your training. Especially as you guys are going on your long runs, simulating your event, those are gonna be the best time to test different products and supplements that are gonna respond best to your guys' stomachs, because at the end of the day, you don't wanna have a GI issue on race day. You want to go through all those issues beforehand and during your training. So just keep a list of the different supplements that work and don't work for you as you guys test them through your training runs, and then just keep that in mind as you prepare for your ultra. My third piece of advice would be eat more than you think. A lot of times it's easy to just rely on Tailwind or an electrolyte powder just because it's giving you that all-in-one package. Personally, I like to eat about every 30 minutes or so. So whether it's a Cliff Bar, a gel pack, a peanut butter and jelly, a banana, eating some form of fuel every 30 minutes, as well as the nutrition and hydration of Tailwind and water, that for me typically works really well. Just remember, guys, there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to nutrition as you guys are feeling yourself on these long runs. You really got to just find out what works for you, test different supplements, different gel packs, different real foods, and then find what works best for you and your stomach so you guys can have a very successful ultra experience. Thank you all for watching. I hope you found this video helpful as you guys embark on your next ultra marathon. Drop in the comments what food or supplements you like to use during your ultra marathons or endurance events so people can get an idea of what other options are out there. If you liked the video, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you guys can get notified when I push out my next video. But until next time, I appreciate you all watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.